Everyone wants to stick with us versus Herd. If it's your first time here, like the content, hit subscribe. If you want to get notifications for when we go live, tap the bell. And if you want to join the UVH fam, our community, links are below in the description to our Discord and our free options trading group on Facebook. Good morning. If you're here right now, say what up. First time in the live chat. Just got my wife into trading options with me. Her name is Beth. We are here for the money. Yo, Clinton, it's good. Glad that your wife shows some interest in what you like to do. Hope it's a blessing to your marriage and not a curse, because as we know, options trading is a bit tense. Well, maybe you guys can do like yoga and stuff together, meditate. Yo, Kelly, Mateus, Aaron. Let's see you all here again. All right, S&Ps are down 5, Dow's down 73, Nasdaq down 3. It seems like the world is crashing, even though things are barely down. Yo, got paid. Oh wait, market not open. Keith, you should be good. Jules, Billy, what's going on? Morning. How you guys all doing? Girls. When I look at the stats for the demographics of the subscribers, it's like 99.8% is male. But let's get into it. All right. Yeah, market's down a little bit, kind of flat. Market came down. The SPY closed at 331. It's currently at 330.74. So it's down roughly 60 cents right now. Most stocks are kind of flat at open right now on Netflix. We have Tesla down about $5, which is compared to what Tesla's been doing is pretty much nothing. Couldn't break 6 yesterday on Tesla, but I mean it's just a crazy chart. I'm here, Apocalypse now. Fortunately, I live on a ground floor brick ranch. Mateus says we'll see SPY back at 332. Maybe buy the dip. There was some news that came out regarding the tax cuts here. White House has started working on second round of tax cuts, but listen, guys, this time it's going to be aimed at the middle class, not the 1%, the middle class. So, not sure what that means, but here we are. So, going into November, leading up to the election, I mean, news like this is going to be a lot more common. So just be prepared for the news that's about to come out of the White House, along with whatever Democratic candidate gets nominated. It's gonna be a lot. Last tax cut helped me. Yeah, I mean people are upset because on the last tax cut, because they said that it really only helped people that made 6 figures or more. I guess I don't even know what the middle. I don't even know, because the middle class is so mixed right now. Let's see here. Middle class. What's the middle class income? Yeah, it's just saying here. Let's see here. The New York Times. Let's see here. The New York Times. Where was it? Yeah, so middle class defined by 48,000 to 145,000. It's just, I guess not that wide. I guess only 100,000. So I guess we'll see what happens with that. But stocks that I am looking at that were on my watch list last night. Andres, what's going on? I'm not middle class. Yeah, sorry to break it to you. If you make less than 48,000 or you make more than 145,000, you are not the middle class. But Netflix, I'm looking at here. I want to see if it kind of comes down here to 320. I'm not sure if it will. It looks like it wants to, but I want to see what happens if we can come back down to 320. I'm low class. Yo, what up, 100K? I'm just found out I'm low class. Oh my God. Sorry, I don't mean to bring this. I didn't mean to bring down the mood here, but if you make less than 48,000 or 45,000, 48,000, and you make more than 145,000, that's the middle class. If you make less, you're low class. If you I remember one time a long time ago, I was working at, where was I working? I was at Starbucks, and I was maybe 17 years old or something like that, working at Starbucks, and I was so proud that I was able to, I got my W-2, and it said I made like 19,000. I'm like, man, I made 19,000 this year. It's the most I ever made. This is great. And then my dad goes, that's less than poverty level, and then brought me down real quick. So he didn't say like, hey, good job. He's like, that's less than poverty level, and that was the last time I ever shared him my income. So, didn't mean to bring it down, but so Netflix, I'm looking at the 320 area right now. It's at 324. Want to see if we're gonna get a bounce. If not, probably gonna come down to 300 area. My kids be lucky in their time there will still be jobs around if automation sinks in, happening in Walmart. Yeah, but I think the way that it goes is just because another job is automated, another job somewhere else kind of opens up. You know what I mean in terms of technological advances. If you think about it, 100 years ago, well less than that. How long ago was it? Like 60 years ago, maybe 70 years ago. Probably longer. Probably 80 years ago. You use the phone, and there was an operator, and they're like plugging the calls in. And now all that's run by machines. So how many jobs does those lose? ATMs. How many jobs does that take? So I think that I think what's hard when automation kicks in is the generation that was in a certain niche, and that niche goes away, or that industry goes away, I should say, not necessarily niche. That when that industry, like if you go to college and you get trained up and you've been 30 years in the industry, and then finally you realize, hey, there's no longer industry. I would say it's also kind of the individual's fault too, because you should be able to see trends and what's coming, and what's coming down the pipe. I'm not gonna say what, but one of my brothers works at a major bank in Chicago, and as you guys know, he works actually not on the banker side, but more on the investment side, corporate accounts, stuff like that, and they're laying off entire floors due to automation. And I'm like, hey man, you gotta, your floor is coming up next. You gotta start kind of learning how to pivot and try to do something, maybe move on to something else, try to look for another job, try to get into a different industry, because, as we know in the stock market, the algorithms are what we trade against most of the time, and now all the algorithms are making better choices for, the people that are, watching over Coca-Cola's holdings or McDonald's holdings or whatever the case is. You have a machine watching over that than a person. So, at the same time, you you got to see it coming. But a lot of people get very complacent, and they're not really like go-getters. They're more clock in, clock out. Show me my cubicle. Okay, day's ended. I'm done at 5. Okay, go home. Eat my microwave dinner and come back and do it again tomorrow. So I don't know. I saw those inventory bots at Walmart. Yeah, because those inventory. So inventory at Walmart, what they do at like Target and all those places, they hire like outside staffing firms that basically they just team up with firms saying, hey, count the stuff that's in the store, and then it's a very temp position. So having a bot do that, I mean, it makes sense to me. I mean, it's kind of, Rob, what's going on? You ask an escalator question, so I'm going to answer it. Okay. I'm in the beer business, so I have job security. Yeah, I mean, your beer business, you're good to go. Get some kind of benefits contracted by the hospitals. Yeah, Regis inventory. Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. You gotta be able to pivot. You gotta be able to pivot in life. You're gonna lose your job. You're gonna get laid off. You're going to have hard times. I mean, during the recession, a lot of people got woken up in the recession. It's tough. Disney, I still have the 144 call, so I'm saying this is the only thing I don't like about this. I know, Keith, you were the smart one yesterday, got out for a profit. I held on, currently down 7% on it. Down $15, but we'll see. It was holding pretty good, dipped and ripped, and the market was kind of weird yesterday, so I think it's just general rotation after going up so long. It's not like going crazy. I think Baba's moving this morning. Baba closed at 222. It's now at 218. Touched 217. So this could be a good trade looking into today. It's now below 220, so it's about right here. I would like to see like 215, 216 area. You'll appreciate it, Daniel. Got the collared shirt on for once. No t-shirts. I don't like to wear. I pretty much every day I wear like $7 t-shirts from Target. I don't really find. Actually, if you're gonna buy t-shirts, Target has the best t-shirts. The best. Don't buy your clothes at Walmart. It's not 2005. Up $80 on space. Looking at my portfolio right now, obviously we have the eyesore of Boeing, so definitely happy for Friday to get this taken off. Starting to make a little bit of money in soybeans back. I had to wait, because I had such a bullish position. I had a bullish strangle. I had to wait until the call kind of lost money before. I mean, I could have cut the call, but I wasn't sure. I've never traded soybeans before. I had 29 days, so I wasn't sure if it's going to bounce back up. Right now for soybeans, I'm hoping it breaks the 900. We're pretty close. We're only 9 points away from breaking 900. I mean, it's dropped 30 points. I bought it up in here when it was like 941. We dropped another 30 points. So things are headed in my direction right now in terms of being. I mean, I was bullish, but now I'm bearish. So my clothes are from Goodwill. Hey, I mean, I don't think. I mean, clothes are clothes. I mean, I don't think spending money on it is. I mean, what's the point? What's the point of buying super expensive clothes? I mean, you wear them, you get fat, you throw them away. That's pretty much how my 20s and 30s have been going. I gotta get into the gym more. I need a Tesla option at most 300. Good luck. I mean, Tesla options are expensive, Jasmine. Because move. I mean, expected move. There's only 2 days left, and the expected move is $24. Next week, the expected move is $83. I mean, you could trade out of the money. I mean, sure. Just got to be careful with Theta. You gotta be careful. It's a tough one. I would just sell some premium. I was saying I gotten fat. However, I did get my physical, and the doctor did say I'm the same weight I was last year, so I guess that is improvement. So I guess I'm leveling out. So I guess the only way to go is down. Just got to figure out. It's got to figure out trying to figure out where to get my energy for the workout. I think midday. I put a treadmill in my office, so hopefully can do some activities on that. This is Thinkorswim. I also use Tastyworks Jewels. Also, Shake Shack. Let's see what they're doing. Kind of up a little bit. I was up a little bit more yesterday. Came back down. I'm in the money right now on Shake Shack at the 70 call. It's been holding kind of 70, ripped up to 72.84. Probably should have taken it off, but here we are. Yeah, I don't really like the pre-workouts too much. Like my wife takes the pre-workouts, and I don't know. I mean, I drink enough coffee that I don't think I need the pre-workouts. Dan Lee, I think so. I think I'm going to trade Microsoft 29th. So we got till next week. Yeah, I'm looking at Amazon as well, but Amazon I'm looking for more of like a pre-earnings. Looks like we're falling a little bit here. Dow's down 100 now. Amazon I'm also looking at. I think that Amazon is going to have a very strong earnings week due to the holidays, and I feel like it's going to be above 2,000 after this quarter. Now, this is my opinion, so take it as you want. This is what I believe, and I think that it's going to be up. So I'm thinking about maybe putting on a credit put spread down in here, kind of ride it up until next week. See what happens. I'm thinking of doing that. Like I've totally kind of just changed my style because I remember I did a video in early January basically saying that I'm going to trade the way that I want to trade. There's a lot of things that, being on an options trader on YouTube, there comes some, I would say it's difficult to balance because you're juggling your trades and you're also balancing YouTube and like content creation and making sure that you have good content to make, and part of that content comes from the trades, and sometimes the content creation versus how you trade doesn't necessarily line up. Like if there's no trades today, you might not trade, but then there's no content, and then I don't get to hang out with all you. Don't really. I guess we can still talk about. What do you talk about? The market was flat. There was no trades. What are you going to do? So. I've kind of just come to the understanding that I need to just trade the way that I want to trade, and then the content will come around that, and that's kind of what I've been doing. Yeah, Roku is also on my list as well. They ripped me a new one yesterday just on this drop, but I was kind of stupid though. I got in on this. I thought I was going to bounce back up because the rest of the market was bouncing, and then the rest of the market tanked. I mean, I got kind of tricked out when the market was moving up like this and Roku was heading down, and then there was this bounce. I thought we were going to kind of rip back up to 138, but then the market tanked and the rest of the stocks tanked with it. So on Roku, I'm watching this 130 area pretty heavily. I would like it to break down to like 127. It's bounced quite a few times, but you have to remember, this is the same thing with Boeing, that you're not the only one that sees the stock market like this, because you can see this line of support here that's bounced once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times. They might keep retesting it, and drop it below to trigger those stops. And if it triggers the stops, why would they want to, like, I'm talking about big money. If let's say they want to take a position in Roku, wouldn't they rather take the stops out, accumulate down in the 120s versus buying in the 130s? You know what I mean? Like, people think that in terms of the market that this line of support has to hold. But if you look at, I know Boeing was news induced, but a lot of people, including myself, had stops around the 330 area, and they're playing the 330 line because that's what's working. Keep retesting until one day, look what happens. I know this was news induced, but it really escalated because this was a heavily guarded area, and it ripped below, panic ensued, took out the stops. So, Boeing is actually it's actually down 25 cents, which is actually not that bad. So, looking at Roku, the only thing I'm worried about is because it's retested so many times, and we're also in a downtrend here on the 1 year, keeps retesting. Eventually, I think it might squeeze to the downside, only to drop before earnings. Earnings is February 13th to maybe rebound before earnings, but that's kind of what I'm thinking right now. So I'm just watching because I've been also playing the 130 on Roku, and it's been going really well. However, you just want to be cautious about it because they could drop it out, take out those stops, and I'm not the only one with a position or this trade idea. I mean, it's pretty clear on the 1 year. So we're not the only ones with the information. TLT. Husband work. I tried that. Said nope. I'll pass. Husbands are ripped. Bearish or Brandon. I am not trading Tesla until after the earnings report because I don't know what. I don't know. I don't know what to tell. I don't know what to tell you. The only thing I can say about Tesla is it was the same price for a couple of years, but it deserved to be that. It deserved to be that. It deserved to drop down because they were missing. Tesla was missing numbers. They were missing production numbers. They were having troubles in their factories. People were stealing their plans. They had employees going to other companies. I mean, it was not good. They made it through the fire, but does it deserve to go up 100% in a quarter? I don't know. So we're gonna find out when the numbers come, when people realize what the numbers are. Hey, if they're good, they're good. If they're not, then what's gonna happen. But can't trade the earnings though because it's too much of a gamble, and the options are gonna be insane for. I mean, it's gonna be it's gonna be an event. We're gonna live stream it though. But TLT, Kelly, I do like this setup here. This has been moving up pretty nicely. It's been jumping pretty good. Volatility's been going lower, but we've been having a really good price action to the bull side. Definitely want to see what happens here at the 140 area, but could easily pop up. I would like it to if it could pop up above 141, 142 area. That would be interesting to me. But has a nice range this week, 137 up to 140. So, TLT and those types of ETFs, you really have to learn how to trade them because the range gets tight and the pricing is what the pricing is. So you just gotta be careful. I mean, only if when Memphis Meats goes public, definitely worth a look. Never heard of Memphis Meats. Reggie, Twitter. We got 7 minutes to market to open. So Twitter. So when is their earnings? So they're not till February 6th. So Twitter, I think is just kind of moving upward. I mean, they've been doing very poor. Twitter has been doing pretty poor. Jack Dorsey's moving to Africa. Why? I don't know. He wants the experience and the lifestyle, but he's a CEO of 2 public companies, so we'll see how it goes. But I'm concerned. I'm concerned. Like right now, this looks really good for a short-term setup. In terms of the gap fill, but I don't think it necessarily. I don't think it's going to gap fill. Just my opinion. They for the long term in terms of shareholders, they said that they're not going to have. They're banning political ads, so they're going to lose revenue. All that revenue is going to go over to Facebook. I think it's tough. If you bought the bottom 30 and it's up to 34, 35, I mean, I would probably be cashing out right now. I just don't really. I used to own Twitter stock, and I held it, and I made decent amount of money. I bought down in the teens and rode it up into the 30s, and I was a happy camper, and it was fine. But Twitter, I mean, I love Twitter, the platform. I'm on it. I'm on Twitter more than Facebook. I love it. But can they generate the money? Can they generate the revenue? Can they generate the profit? It's tough. It's tough. I really wish Twitter would do well, but they need to make some changes to their platform, and they really haven't made any changes to their platform since. I mean, they added a few things, but it's essentially the same. Like, unlike Facebook, love it or hate it, they are constantly making improvements to their platform and asking themselves, "Hey, what makes a better experience for the user?" Because the more people spend their time on Facebook, the more we can sell in ads, and that's exactly what they do. And they essentially keep growing revenue, and they keep changing the platform, but it's to grow the revenue. So Twitter needs to do something. They need to do something. I mean, I think a lot has to do with Jack Dorsey keeping true to like his mantras and what he's about, and not like technically selling out. I feel like he still wants to be that guy in the garage making good products, but at the same time you're operating a public company and you have to make money. You know? Lululemon. I don't know. I'm not really. I mean, I think 240. You gotta look. I mean, it was holding. I remember trading the earnings. I mean, it sat at 230 for a while. It broke out. I don't think it's gonna. They had really decent earnings. I mean, you could put in a short day trade. There's some action here, like on the daily, on the daily 15-minute candles, sure. But you really gotta capture if you're doing puts right now. You gotta capture those profits pretty quick. You wouldn't have, like, this looks like a good short, but you wouldn't have had a position up here because it gapped up and it sold off, and then this ripped down to 239, ripped back up to 243, back up to 245, down to 243, then back up again. So like I said, it's tough. I find that in this market, it's easier to kind of go with the flow, buy the dip, find some positions that way, Boris, what's going on? UMP. All right, we got 3 minutes to market open. Union Pacific, they had earnings. Are their options pretty liquid? I actually have never. Not terrible. Yeah, I mean their chart does look like a good options trading chart. However, I don't know in terms of Union Pacific as a business. I haven't really ever looked into them. I just know that you take it down when you go downtown Chicago. Take the Union Pacific. But other than that, if you're going for faster growth of a small portfolio, are you looking for longer contracts or weekly contracts? I think it doesn't really matter if you have a small portfolio or not. I think you should always be looking further out, because a lot of traders, like if you want to trade weekly options, you really have to be experienced, because there's a lot that impacts that in terms of the chart, in terms of the Greeks, theta and your deltas. I mean, if you're trading like this week's options, let's say you bought Tuesday for this week, you only have 4 days to work out. What if you're wrong? What if news happens? And it's a quick way to go to zero. But if you bought like next week's or 2 weeks out, you have some time to kind of think about it, see what's playing your trade a little bit better. Focus on the deltas. Theta's not going to hit you as hard as if it goes against you. It also has time to reverse back in your direction. So, I think that if you're trading weekly options, and I did yesterday, but it was a day trade. I did a day trade on Netflix. I traded this week, but my intention was for it to just be a day trade. And I also traded in the money option, so theta wasn't too aggressive, and I didn't fall out of the money. So you have to know how to trade the weekly options, and you have to be experienced. And Netflix is moving on up right now, Billy. Market just opened up 30, so Netflix, see what it does here. What else we got going on? But it looks like mostly a sea of red. Apple's green by 39 cents. Microsoft's up 46 cents. Nvidia's up 99 cents. Everything else is pretty red. IBM's up 13 cents, which they had earnings. No, they had earnings the other day. It's been flat. They're up 147, kind of 144 now. Would it be a good idea to put a debit spread? Amazon. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can do a debit spread if you want. I'm probably just going to look to sell puts in there for a puts credit spread. It's super hard to keep up with a theta when you're trading in a week. Thanks for the, yeah, I mean, like when you're Jules, when you're a trader, you're looking to minimize risk, and trading weekly options definitely increases risk. So from a risk standpoint, there's a lot more things working against you than there are for you. So as a trader, you want to be on the side that has a higher probability of winning. And when theta is that high, I mean, I know that it's very attractive in terms of the weeklies because you get cheap options, and if the stock moves a lot, those options can be 500, 300, 1,000%. But if you're looking for consistency, it's not it. Yo, Keith, congrats, man. PG. Yeah, back to flat. How you like that? Perfect. Yeah, it's been good for. I'll probably be looking to sell some more credit spreads. I've been kind of watching to see how some of these earnings reports have been coming through, kind of see what's going on. But essentially, I've been hanging back from earnings because I wanted to see how the market was going to react from the after these stocks have been running so hot for the last few months. See what these earnings reports come in at and start making some decisions there. I've been 304 on both UMP and PG. Boris, that's what's up. Good. What's going on? I don't really have any trades to take off right now. I'm just chilling. So, anyways, guys, as always, stay safe, stay green. I'm about to sign off. It's us versus herd.